So the solicitation life cycle. I imagine most of you on here are pretty familiar with this life cycle, but essentially you have a project or you have a need within your city or your organization, and you need to figure out how to procure that. And so you work together on planning out the project and then drafting a bid. This might be something that you go back and forth on internally with multiple team members, which you can do within Laserfiche. And then you issue the bid. You put it out there, you make it publicly accessible. A lot of teams and organizations that we work with right now use a third-party site to issue their bid and manage all the solicitations and the questions and the attachments, all of that. But you can do that within Laserfiche now. And you can create those exciting, easy to use dashboards that are intuitive for both sides of the team within the procurement lifecycle. So then there's also reviewing the bids and the proposals and, weighing out the costs and the questions and the timelines and all of that. And so we'll talk about how you can build all of that into a Laserfiche dashboard form. And then awarding the contract. Once you award the contract, what happens next? You have to let everybody else know. You have to start the contract process internally. All of that routing and vendor onboarding and how all of that can tie together within your Laserfiche system with your endless automation options. So we're going to dive right into that demo. So escape. So today we are going to be focusing on our procurement folder structure here. We've got closed solicitations, open solicitations, and then pending contracts. So we're going to start off with a dashboard. So this is for somebody on your staff. So somebody within the city, somebody within your organization who wants to request a new solicitation. They can go ahead and select new solicitation and fill out a Laserfiche form. And then from here, if we reflect back on that slide with the planning for it, developing the bid information, you can use, of course, a Laserfiche form to do the back and forth and the routing internally so that you are collecting and ensuring that your bid is as complete as possible. So solicitation title, we're going to do Laserfiche Professional Services. This is going to be for HR. HR always needs automation. Services. All right, we'd like to have our project completed by August 31st. So when you are getting ready to issue a bid, of course, there are certain solicitation dates that you need to abide by. I mean, if you want people to bid on your solicitation, you need to make things really clear for them. So here within this form, just by using the add button, I can add a bunch of different dates. So we are going to release the bid by the 26th. And then we are going to require questions due. But if we are requiring the questions to be due, we also have to require that we're going to respond. And then all bids are due by the 16th. And then at this point, maybe we've already gone back and forth. We've put together our solicitation, so we can go ahead and attach that right here. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and just submit this. And again, this is where you could go back and forth on the bid documentation internally, making sure that you've covered all of your bases, is as complete as possible. So if I jump into my repository in here, in my tasks, we have been assigned a new solicitation form. So this is supervisor review. Again, you can route this to whomever you may need as part of your procurement process. Everything looks good. I'm going to go ahead and just approve this. So once this is approved, it's going to create the folder structure and everything that I need within Laserfiche for starting to collect any new solicitations and bids on that particular procurement order. So if I go back to my dashboard, I can go ahead and click on Review Open Solicitations. So if I open that up, it's just going to bring me to another form where I can selectively choose which solicitation I want to take a look at. So if I click on Laserfiche Professional Services, it's just giving me some of this key information. I can do new computer monitors, anything like that. So this is what we're looking at here is a dashboard that can be used, again, internally. It should have everything that you need to manage the procurement process. So requesting a new solicitation, reviewing the open ones, answering the questions, which we'll get to some of these others. But once you have your bid and it's ready, as long as you have the Laserfiche Forms portal component, which we'll go over licensing after the demo, you can build out a solicitation dashboard for any solicitors. So this is something you could put directly onto your website where, hey, you want to view the open solicitations, click this link, and then it brings them to this Laserfiche form. Again, this is just a Laserfiche Forms dashboard that you can build out to have specific links for whatever you need. So as a business owner or a solicitor, I want to go ahead and review the open solicitations for the city or this organization. I'm going to go ahead and choose. I want to bid on, I'm interested in bidding on new computer monitors. All right, here's all of the information. I definitely think that I can accommodate that schedule. So I want to register for this solicitation. When you register for a solicitation, it gets you on the list to know when, or it gets you on the list to get specific reminders. Like, again, questions are due this date. Here are the question and answer session. Don't forget to submit your bid, all of that. So you register so that you can get the information. So we are going to register as the company Acer, Acer. You can tie in SIC codes if you want. You can have them manually key them in, or you can do a drop-down list based on the type of bid or solicitation you are requiring. You can also, if you are a forms expert, you can include little notifications letting them know, what's a SIC code? Click here, and then it can pop up a Google page to let them know what it is. So 2000. So again, we are interested in registering for the new computer monitors. Submit. So then at this point, that company or that solicitor has the ability to download a copy of their form if they wanted. You can have it send them an email notification with the important dates that they need to remember, as well as just set up those automatic reminders behind the scenes saying, on this date, questions are due. On this date, the information is released. On this date, all of that. So once I've had a chance to review the open solicitation, now I have some questions. So I'm going to go ahead and just ask a question. So I'm bidding on new computer monitors. My name is Ace. My question is, are you interested in 3 monitors per workstation? I don't think anybody would do a question mark, exclamation point, but I'm going to. I'm going to go ahead and submit that. So then, as the organization, with this procurement request out, they can maybe get an email notification saying, hey, you have a new question to answer, and you can answer questions as they come in. or you can assign the questions out to be answered by somebody else within the organization. So I am actually going to go back to my internal organization dashboard, and I want to answer questions. So if I come here, I'm going to select the bid that I want to go ahead and answer questions for. New computer monitors. We'll give it a second to load, and it's going to pop up all of my questions. You can make these questions read only, so your team can't make edits to them, things like that. No, we want 2 or less. 3 monitors is just kind of excessive, but you never know. So then I'm going to go ahead and just submit that. If I had multiple questions to answer, I could certainly go ahead and answer them all in one swoop. Otherwise, again, I could reassign that to be managed by somebody else if I'm not sure what the answer to the question is. So either way. So now if I pop back in as the solicitor, I can get an email notification saying, hey, your questions have been answered, and click here to review all of the questions. Otherwise, if they go directly to your dashboard, they can selectively choose, again, which bid they want to look at questions for. So new computer monitors, they have the ability to see the questions that were asked and then the answers to those questions all in one form. Right there. So I feel like I have all of the information that I could possibly need to submit a competitive bid for these new computer monitors. So I'm going to do new computer monitors, type in my company name, and if you didn't notice it, it did pre-fill some of my contact details already. So based on the information that I had submitted when I said that I was interested in this bid, it pulled back some of those details for me and auto-populated it, so I didn't have to rekey it all. I'm going to go ahead and attach my bid documentation, and my total is going to be $7,800, and I estimate we can probably have all of those monitors in and ready to go by August 6th. Actually, let's go with September 13th. And then I'm going to submit this. And again, they have the opportunity, or you have the opportunity, to send them an email letting them know that their bid submission has been received, and here are the dates again, so that they know when they can expect to see the next list of information from you. So now, if I go back to my internal dashboard, I have the ability to see a comparison. So I want to go ahead and compare all of the vendors that have submitted solicitations for our new computer monitors. If I select professional services, nobody's submitted a bid, so I'm not getting any information. So new computer monitors. So from here, all of these companies have submitted a bid to us. This was their bid total submission when they estimate they could have the information or the resources to us, maybe what state they're in. With this, I just want to point out that these fields are all customizable. This is just to give you an idea of how you could format the bid or procurement process within your organization. Sorry about that. I think I tried to mute myself, and if I didn't, I apologize. But here you can have, this display whatever information you need, whether it's the total, the time estimates, who the vendor is, who the contact is, what their contact details are, all of that. If I wanted to review a specific submission, I could go to the second tab and choose Dell. I want to take a look at Dell and what they have submitted to us. So it allows me and brings up the Dell solicitation right here in the embedded iframe in the form for me, so I can take a look at, what all is in here. If I want to select and choose a different vendor, I could certainly do that and take a look at their bid documentation right here. So I've had a chance to review everybody's information, and we are now ready to make a decision. We are going to go with the Acer submission because they're the cheapest. And here I'm going to update this drop-down list. So again, you can have this start any action that you want within the Laserfiche system. So if I award somebody, it's going to say and kick off one set of processes. If I say, I want to interview them because I want to get some additional information, that's going to kick off another set of processes. And if I reject them, that's just going to send them the email notification saying you've been rejected. Nice try. So I'm going to reject Dell and the others, and we're going to award Acer this bid. But before I do that, I want to pop back into my repository. And we're going to just take a look at the procurement folder. Because again, once I kick off that form and I hit submit on it, it's going to change a few things. So if I go into open solicitations, the Laserfiche professional services folder was created. If I take a look at this, I can see my solicitation documentation. And then if I open up bidding companies, we can see their registration to solicit for our bid. And then once they submit their bid, it creates the folder structure and all of their bid documentation, as well as their form submission. So we can take a look at all of that should we need to here. So let me jump back to that form. Again, we're going to award Acer. Click next. Go ahead and submit that form. And then that's going to blast off a couple of email notifications, letting the rejected solicitors know that they haven't been selected. You can even have that email that goes out populate, hey, this person was awarded the contract, so that they know who won and whatever you need, whatever details you need to pass on from there. So now if I jump back into my repository, I have this refresh icon, so I'm going to go ahead and refresh. And it might take a minute for it to work through everything. Well, actually, it looks like it's moved it already. So now in our open solicitations folder, we only have our open solicitation for Laserfiche professional services. If I go into closed solicitations, it's going to, or we'll be able to see our new computer monitors folder and all of the rejected bidding companies pushed within it. And then if I go into my pending contracts, it has created a pending contracts folder for us to onboard Acer as a vendor and kick off the contract review process. So if I go ahead and open it up, we can see here that it's created a Word document for the software and services contract, although that's not really the right type of contract we would need for onboarding new monitors, but again, it gives you an idea of what is possible. So Laserfiche is, with workflow, moving the folders around from location to location based on my specifications and creating the documentation that I need to kick off my processes. So we've awarded the contract and it's created the contract here for us, in which case we can kick off our contract review process and fully onboard our vendor. So hopefully that all kind of made sense. From here again, you could tie it into DocuSign once your contract's been approved, and then have it create and move to the vendor folder and all of that. Again, this is just an example to show what is possible, but you can definitely do procurement and bid solicitation within Laserfiche. So one other thing that I wanted to show in this demo piece is how easy it can be to create a dashboard. So a dashboard like this is something super approachable to anybody who has the appropriate forms, permissions, and access. So I'm going to go into my process automation. Again, I am in the Laserfiche Cloud module. So if you haven't seen it, this is a quick little tour around. And I'm going to go into business processes. And we're just going to open one of our existing dashboards and just take a look at what happens. So here, again, there's really no process with it. It's just the form. So I'm going to take a look at the form over here. I'm going to select the city reps form. And here, there's just one single field that is a rich text field. So you can drag and drop that on there. You can get rid of the field label if you don't want that on there. And then if you scroll down to the bottom, you have this default value. And so you could type in links. And then any of the other forms that you have built out in your process, you just grab the URL to. And then in your process designer, you go ahead and you highlight it and you say, I want to add a hyperlink, add. And then that hyperlinks it. I'm going to click save. And then we can go ahead and preview it. And again, you can get rid of this rich text field label and this header as we had done up here. But now if I click this, it's going to, or it would open up that form link for us. So again, this is something very approachable for anybody to do. And I just kind of wanted to show how easy it is. You just apply that rich text field and you link it, and then you can add as many different lines within this field as you want and hyperlink them all, and you've got yourself a dashboard. We do have other webinars available already that do have instructions for how to build a dashboard. And if, of course, anybody is interested, feel free to reach out or put a question in a box and we can reach out to you after today's webinar. So now we're just going to pop back into the PowerPoint. But before I continue on, I wanted to push out a poll. So today I did do my webinar, and the automation is within Laserfiche Cloud, and I want to know how everybody feels about Laserfiche Cloud. So let me see if I can launch this poll. So is your organization interested in moving to Laserfiche Cloud? Are you looking for a cloud environment? Please take a second to vote. I do want to point out, though, cloud definitely has perks with not having to worry about, IT infrastructure such as servers and backups and things like that. The cloud solution does have slightly more limited integration capabilities and connectivity capabilities. So there's that consideration. And if your team is interested in exploring it, definitely our team will go through and do an audit with you to make sure that any automation you have built out currently is compatible and can get switched over to the cloud, and go from there. So it looks like 50% rated that this was a strange poll, which is really funny. And then some people are interested in hybrid, and most people love their self-hosted solution, which I would agree with. I'm a self-hosted user over here at CDI and would say that I prefer it as well. All right, so let's jump back into the PowerPoint and finish up here. So for the licensing and what you would need in order to build a dashboard like what we saw today is Laserfiche Forms. If you want to be able to do database lookups and pull in information, you're going to need Forms Professional within your existing self-hosted solution. And you're also going to need the Laserfiche Forms portal. That is what's going to allow you to make your solicitations and your bids publicly accessible. So you could use the forms portal to replace whatever, maybe third-party program you're using to post your bids to, and you can manage it all internally within your document management solution, as it stands. You can also do ODBC connections. You're going to need workflow to create the folder structures and things like that. And then if you were to tie in your contracts process, you would need the CDI DocuSign integration. So again, just a brief outline of what Forms Essentials includes versus Forms Professional. If you have cloud, you have everything in Forms Professional. If you have an on-premise solution, you out of the box, if you have, a system that was purchased, I don't know, I want to say in like 2010 or more, you probably have Forms Essentials included, and then Forms Professional is that add-on. And then from here, if you want to learn more, please reach out to sales@citiesdigital.com or call in, and we would be happy to assist. And then from here, are there any questions? I'll go ahead and pull up the questions box. So if you've got any questions, thoughts, concerns, definitely address them. And let me try and figure out how to pull this up. Can submissions be locked until the bid close time? If by locked, if you mean like at a certain point, you want to make sure that people can't submit additional questions or lock so that they can't submit bids after the deadline, you can definitely set up that criteria with workflow so that it updates the information so that they cannot continue to submit information to you. That would be something that is likely handled in workflow to make the updates on the time frame on when things can be submitted or not. I guess follow up to that, they can't be accessible for staff to view them until the bid close time. Oh yeah, definitely. So you can set up permissions within the repository on those folders and those submissions so that they can't review any of the documentation. They can maybe know that the information has been submitted or that a vendor has submitted details over, but everything can remain locked. And then you can take it one step further from there as well. So let's say, a lot of solicitations that you put out or that, that our team has bid on, you have to submit the bid and all of the information on your services that you are providing, and then you have to provide a quote separately. So when they submit the bid information to you, you can have two separate attachments, and then you can control the permissions on those attachments. So that when they submit their bid, one document has one set of permissions that become available after the bid closes, and then the pricing remains locked until the team is ready to review it and maybe until you've done all of the interviews and things like that. Next question is, will this webinar be available for replay? Yes, it will. It has been recorded, and it will also be available on our YouTube channel. So once it becomes available, I believe you should get an email notification, but we can definitely follow up and make sure you get the notice that it's available. Can you share the screen with the contact info again? Oh, here's our contact info, sales@citiesdigital.com. If you want to reach out to me direct, I'm just Laura@citiesdigital.com. Otherwise, call into that sales number, and we are happy to assist however needed. And I'm happy to reach out to you directly if you would like that. Please just let me know, and we are happy to help and provide whatever information your team may need. All right. Well, I whipped through all of that pretty quickly. Hopefully it was somewhat easy for everyone to follow. And most definitely, if you have any questions, concerns, don't hesitate to reach out. But also, please take a moment to fill out the survey. Give us your feedback. If I need to slow down in my talking, let me know. I feel like I need to today. But um, feel free to provide that feedback. And again, any ideas that you would like to see in future webinars. And then just to give you an idea of what's coming up, starting in August, we've got compliance reviews, build along, meeting follow-up and task management with Laserfiche, and then Quick Fields Basic in September. So stay tuned for those. And thank you again, everybody, for your time. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.